And as we approach the one-year mark of Helene, we are revisiting some of the communities hit hardest. And we start the week off in Mitchell County with News 13's Justin Berger taking us back to 1 year ago to look at the damage caused there by Helene.
To the rest of the state, country, and world, Mitchell County is a virtual black hole. There is little information going out and even less coming in. Communities are cut off from their towns. People are still missing. The inability to receive information and the lack of knowing, there's only one word to describe it.
It feels absolutely lonely, and you don't know what's going on in the rest of the world, and it's devastating.
Trapped.
We was just hoping that somebody would stop, that we could pay or whatever to have them help us get out of here.
Nobody did until Sunday night.
It took one whole day to cut just the 4 hickory trees out of the way.
Unfortunately, Mitchell County's problems are exponentially bigger than 4 downed hickory trees.
Basically, our county has been cut off since this storm system came through on Friday.
Multiple fatalities, landslides, erosions, mass power outages, water sewer systems completely wiped out, next to no cell service.
From an overall incident response standpoint, the scope of the damage here in Mitchell County is very reminiscent of Hurricane Katrina.
A years-long recovery.
It's all heart, it's all self-sufficiency, it's that mountaineer spirit we got running through here.
Linda Pittman's got that mountaineer spirit.
I live at Beaver Creek, which is about a half a mile that way. All right, it's what we're going to do.
A disaster relief expert.
Okay, we're going to put it right there.
With decades of experience.
I've been all the way to Puerto Rico, to Alaska, to Florida, to Georgia. We go all, wherever there's a need, we go. When the fuel truck gets here, we're going to send 10 at a time across the road.
This time,
you'll peel off your sticker.
Home
you'll give
called.
it to them. They'll peel off that sticker.
Working in the parking lot outside the church where her brother pastors.
How are you doing? The water came within that close to my store. And they know that we go. They never knew what we done. And now they're seeing firsthand what we do, and they are in awe.
Across town, the cleanup continues.
We own Hef's, me and my brother.
Jason Hefner had water 6 to 8 feet high in his Locust Street restaurant.
Angie said put it by her car.
It's almost a total loss. He thought he was going to have to clear it out himself, not in Mitchell County.
They didn't ask any questions. They just walked right into the restaurant, started picking trash up, scooping mud, and working. We don't even know their names. They just come in and just go right to work with us.
We have to pick up the pieces and we have to move on. And that's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Justin Berger, News 13.
All right, and joining us live now from Mitchell County here is our very own Charles Perez. And Charles, after watching that story, how are things there nearly a year later here?
Hey, Katie, I'll tell you, seeing those pictures again, it really emphasizes how powerful the storm and its aftermath were for the folks here. Before I answer your question, let me give you a sense of where I am. I'm in downtown Spruce Pine on what's considered Lower Street. Behind me are those businesses, including Hef's that we showed in that video, or that Justin did. To my left or your right is the North Toe River. That's the river that flooded up, covering this road by about 8 feet of water and decimating these businesses behind me. Now, Spruce Pine is the most populous town in Mitchell County, and that means obviously that this was a center of business, but it's also the center of boots on the ground. And that's what meant so much to businesses like Hef's behind me. So, you know, a little later in the morning, we're going to have one of the co-owners of Hef's here. She's going to join me, and I'm going to get a chance to talk to her about what that meant to have folks show up for her, help her business, and how people here just really pulled together. And that's part of their story. For right now, I'm going to send it down to my colleague, our colleague, Gracie Palmer. And she's been out in nearby Bakersfield looking at how folks there are recovering, but also noting some new concerns. Gracie, what do you got?
Hey, Charles. Well, I'm actually not in Bakersville, but I am in Mitchell County. And I'll tell you, when I went out and visited Bakersville, they have recovered quite a bit since the storm, but they tell me they're still worried, not necessarily about another hurricane, but instead about fires. Mitchell County had the largest number of trees damaged from Helene in the state of North Carolina, and nearly half of their forestry was either damaged or destroyed. Officials say that since there are so many downed trees in the area, it poses a huge risk for fires. Heavy winds, fallen leaves, and dry, dead trees make the perfect recipe for a wildfire.
Just like what you've seen in Polk County last spring, that's coming to Mitchell County, and we want our residents to be prepared, and we not try to scare people, but we stand such a risk.
Officials from the county tell me that they reached out to FEMA for funding to help chop down trees too close to residents' homes in the case of another wildfire, but their requests were denied. They said it feels like waiting for the next disaster to happen, just as they're recovering from the first one. And they tell me not just in Bakersville, but in all of Mitchell County, they want folks to be aware of this potential threat. And they say you should chop down any trees that are too close to your house to make sure you can build that perimeter between you and a possible fire.
As we are approaching the one-year mark since the storm, we are taking a look back all week at how communities across our area are moving forward in their recovery. And joining us right now is our very own Charles Perez. And Charles, how are things there here a year later?
Hey, I'll tell you, Katie, recovery has come a long way in a short period of time. It doesn't mean that there's still not more way to go, but it certainly is nothing like it was a year ago. And if anything, there's a lot of hope here. On that note, I want to bring in our guest this morning, Pastor Rocky. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank
really
you, sir. Appreciate it.
You know, I see you got that hat on your head. Let's go ahead and show that to the folks at home.
All right.
It says hope, right?
Right.
What you have been talking to me about is hope isn't just something you believe in, it's something you do.
We have to have it to live.
Yeah.
We have to believe, yeah.
Well, in terms of boots on the ground, you guys were here helping folks. Tell me about that.
First day of the storm, we came in, my sister, my wife, her husband, and the four of us started with 2 pots of soup and a cake of cornbread.
Okay, and that grew.
Yeah, because we had still have a large generator that took care of the whole church. Everything was just like right now. So nobody else had that. For 2 weeks we had no electricity, no power. And so we were there.
I was going to say, your mission here was to show up for people.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, our church is on the hill just over your shoulder up there. And the water didn't get to us. So we are a well-known facility. So people started coming to us, the EMS people, the firemen, the police, they started bringing people to us. So we were able to help by people coming to us.
People came to you, but also you were like a distribution hub.
100%, yeah. Yeah, and the first couple weeks we were just in the house because we had no electricity as far as internet. People would go out to the end of the mountain to make a phone call because they couldn't have any signal here. So it was a very difficult thing. After that second week or third week, we started getting stuff in from all over the place.
And then not only stuff in, at that point you started moving stuff out.
We definitely started moving stuff out. Our sanctuary turned into a store. We had shelves, we put shelves in our sanctuary, put food on them, and clothes on them, because people lost everything. I mean, when the flood came, it came in the daytime. It started at night, but it rose in the daytime. So people lost everything.
Well, I guess if there's anything you could do during this event was to look out and say, what can I do? And you guys answered that call.
Yeah. It was just something that happened to us, you know, and we were trusted. I tell folks that we were trusted with this project, and God blessed us because of it.
I hear you, Pastor. Thank you so much for joining us for a few moments this morning. We're going to go ahead and send it down to my colleague, Gracie Palmer. She's right down on the other side of Front Street right now, with the latest not only here, but on nearby Bakersville and what folks were doing down there for recovery.
Hey, Charles, what an amazing story, he had to tell us. And that same feeling was echoed throughout Bakersville. When I first entered Bakersville, you could still feel that presence of Helene even a full year later. And the folks I spoke with say the same thing. They say Helene is still at the front of their minds every day. As you drive down Crimson Laurel Way in Bakersville, it looks much different today than it did over a year ago. Once Hurricane Helene came through, Cane Creek in the center of the town overflowed, and the water rose around 6 feet. Along the street, there were 2 gas stations, emergency management offices, and local businesses. They all sustained heavy flood damage, with many unable to open back up. Members of the town council tell me that their biggest recovery holdup this far is getting the funds.
This small town, we don't have funds to do what we need to do. So we just have to wait. We're at the mercy of FEMA or the other people that are helping us with funding.
Even a year after the storm, the town is still worried about future flood threats. The creek that runs through the town is filled with 3 to 5 feet of mud, making it even more vulnerable to flooding. And they tell me that they are continuing to recover over in Bakersville as long as they can get that much needed funding. In Mitchell County, Gracie Palmer, News 13.
And joining us now live from Mitchell County is our very own Charles Perez. And Charles, how are things there nearly a year later?
Well, I'll tell you, Katie, they've come a long way, but not far enough. To give you some context here, I'm 6 foot tall. The water here was 8 feet deep, so I would have been far underwater here, and that's what these businesses here have been challenged to survive. One of those businesses, Hef's Restaurant and Bar, right behind me, is one of those you saw right now in that video with the mud lapping out the door in the days following. Well, we've got the owner, one of the proprietors of Hef's with us right now, Jason Hefner. Hey, Jason, thank you for joining us so much. I really appreciate it. What was it like in those days right after the storm?
Oh yes, we come down, there was water, there was mud stacked up all through the restaurant here, the parking lot, and just total devastation that morning when we came in.
Well, like we just saw in that video, folks showed up to help you.
Yes. Yeah, we had a lot of folks come up. You know, we first started out, there were folks there that we didn't even know. They came in, they just got shovels and they went out, and we were carrying stuff out, not knowing if we were going to ever reopen at that point, but knew we had to get busy.
Well, on that note, a lot of the businesses along here haven't reopened. You're one of the few that have.
Yes.
I'm sure that's a mark of hope for a lot of folks here. But this week, on Friday, you opened your doors. Your first weekend open. What was that like?
Oh, it was good. It was very emotional. Very emotional weekend. A lot of people come in, a lot of chins quivering. You know, a lot of people hugging and being glad to be back together and celebrate that opening. And we had tremendous amount of support from the community to come out.
All right. Well, may this be the beginning of a long and fruitful future for you. You survived a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. My colleague, Gracie Palmer, is standing by, also in Mitchell County. And Gracie, there are other parts of this county that are also concerned or remain concerned about rising waters.
Yes, Charles, that's correct. I visited Bakersville, and one of their main concerns is actually a little small creek that runs through the town. And while the creek looks small and insignificant, it actually is what caused all of the damage on that main street in downtown Bakersville. The town of Bakersville runs along Cane Creek, and for a while it was the center of the community. They used it for trout fishing, and they even had a paved creek walk for residents. But once that creek overflowed during Helene, the water destroyed neighboring buildings. And although the town is back open now, the flood risk still stands because the creek is now 3 to 5 feet shallower.
You know what the result of that is when we get a heavy rain upstream, we get a cloud burst, we get 2 inches of rain in a short amount of time, this will flood. And it will basically flood out our town once again.
Officials in the county say they've submitted FEMA requests to remove the silt in the bottom of the creek. They tell me that every time it rains, they get a little more nervous seeing that water rise. Alongside that creek in Bakersville, I can tell you there is one Marathon gas station that has opened back up, and that is now the only gas station in town. In Mitchell County, Gracie Palmer, News 13.